Okay, student. Now today's topic is security in the contemporary world. Now, first thing, what do you mean by security? Now, security means to protect against the threat to the existence of an individual life and society. Okay, that means to protect oneself from any type of threat that is targeting our life or our society. That is called security. So, in one word, we can say that freedom from threats. Now, security of a country is vital issues for the well-being of a country. Now, why? Because if security is strong, it provides the citizen to live a healthy and long life. So that is why it is said that security of a country is vital issues for the well-being of a country. Now, the next thing is that the analyst of a security generally include those traits which forms the core values of the country. Now, what do you mean by this thing? That is core values. Now, core values generally related to sovereignty, independence, and territorial integrity of a country. Means which secured the sovereignty. Sovereignty means a government which can makes its own policy without any interference. And when there should be a territorial integrity, so that means um, generally security should protect this thing. This is the core values of the country. That means core values related to sovereignty and which maintains the integrity of the country. Clear? Now it means again I'm just explaining it in details that those things which threaten the core values should be regarded as the issues of discussions. Now core values of an organizations are those which forms the foundations of a country. So earlier I had already said that it is related to maintain to preserve the sovereignty of the country, to protect the integrity of the country. Now these are the core values. Now means I'm just giving one example. You just look uh, individualism. Now suppose for a country its core value is individualism. Now that country should preserve it. It should not be threatened by any external or internal force. Now freedom of speech, faith and professions in a democratic country, it is very much essential. It should not be get hampered, so it should be protect. So again I am telling that security of a country means freedom from threats which protects the core values of that country. Okay. Now just one more example I'm just giving. Uh, just look into it. If a person is murdered or robbed on the street, it is a part of a threat to the daily life of ordinary citizen. Okay. So this threat to the daily life is core value of a citizen of a country, so it should not be disturbed. So a core value should be protected. So again I am repeating that the security means freedom from threats. Okay. Means threats to what? To the national integrity of the country, threats to the sovereignty of the country. Okay. Now next thing what you need to know, the types of security. Types of security generally includes two types. One is traditional notions of security and another is non-traditional notions of security. Now traditional notions generally two types: external and internal. External means suppose if a country is getting military threat from other country, that is the external threat. Clear? And internal threat means suppose within the country any separatist groups tries to provoke the public of a particular region, and that region want to separate from the country. Now these sort of things are related to the internal security. Means it can lead to a civil war. So these two type means one is from military aggressions from other country and another is the threat from within the country, and last one is the non-traditional notions. Now non-traditional notions means generally it ranges threats affecting conditions of human existence like terrorism, means global poverty, migrations, health epidemic. Means it is the threat to the entire world. Clear? Terrorism, Nowadays it is means one of the major issues related to the security of any country. Next one is that health epidemics. Okay, now you just see this pandemic time. Now it is also matter related to this thing. Migrations. Okay, about this Rohingya Muslim, you just see means these are the thing. And global poverty means developed countries are getting much more developed, and the developing nations are deteriorating economically. So means economic inequality has started prevailing. Now these sort of things are the also means very much importance, and this includes the non-traditional notions. And traditional notions generally with the military aggressions, which we called external security. And internal security means suppose example civil war within the country. Now another thing what you need to know is about the cooperative security. Now cooperative security means you can consider under non-traditional security threats requires cooperations rather than military confrontations. Now, non-traditional security generally includes terrorism, global poverty, migrations, health epidemics. Now, for that, what happened? A particular country cannot fight against it. Means the cooperations is required among the different within the different countries of the world. Okay, so that they could fight it globally. So cooperations may be bilateral, means two countries can cooperate, or continental. Okay, suppose the inter-Asian countries cooperate to fight against this COVID-19, or means now, or global cooperatives. Now related to this COVID-19, you can see that means the inter-world is taking the initiative to stop the spread of this virus. So you can say it that cooperative security is very much essential to fight against this non-traditional threats. Okay, now example means even it's a need to means it can be operate through some international organizations also, like United Nations, World Bank, World Health Organizations. Okay, and the last elements of cooperative security, or the last resort, is the applications of the force. Suppose a country is promoting violence or terrorism. Now cooperative way force could be applied on that particular country. Clear? Now the last thing you need to know is about the security strategy in India. Now security strategy in India means first thing, Indian government strengthen the military capability. That means it tries to provide more emphasis on the traditional notions of security. Okay, because already India involved in several conflicts with with its neighbor countries. For example, 4 times with Pakistan and 1 time with China. Now, thus means even Pakistan and China is having nuclear weapons. So for that, military strength means to strengthen our military forces, it is very much necessary. Okay. Now next thing, to strengthen the international norms and international institutions. Now international norms means India should follow a particular ideology which should not means which should protect the country, okay, from means different types of foreign aggressions. Okay, and even means it should be tries to promote the uh, means tries to promote those activities which is related to non-traditional notions of security. Means tries to stop those activities like terrorism, global poverty, migrations. Now for that, what happened means you just see means India supported the issues of decolonizations. Okay, that means one country should not capture other countries. Okay, which we can consider under this traditional notions of security. Disarmament, then Afro-Asians unity, and UN as a forum for resolving dispute. And the most important thing is that India means founded one of the founder member of NAM. Clear? Now this thing means it should follow certain international norms which should not related to violence. Okay, that means it should stop promoting violence, and also it should tries to strengthen the non-traditional notions of uh, security. Okay, India even the signatory to 1997 Kyoto Protocol, where it emphasized on the emissions of greenhouse effects to global warming. Now this thing you just see means it's secured, means non-traditional notions of security. Global warming means India tries means is in favor to stop this global warming. Next one is that internal security. Now already you had seen that means separatist movements are there in Kashmir, even in the northeast. So how India should overcome it? India had tried to stabilize national unity by adopting a democratic political regime. Okay, that means each and everyone, each and every from each and every region, they should represent. Okay, so that they could say their grievance, and finally through mutual understanding it should be overcome. And the last one is the economic growth. You all know that in a democratic country, though political right is there, but economic inequality still exists. But Indian government through different welfare scheme will try to minimize those inequality. Now these are the things you need to know from this chapter. Okay, clear. Thank you.